It was all dark and sweaty. My head had been trapped in a black, ew-smelling bag for hours. Finally, they ripped it off. Do you even realize what you've done? Do you know who I am? How dare you kidnap me? I'm Meredith, the heiress to a billion-dollar business that could ruin you and your great-great-grandfathers in their graves? I'm his only precious daughter. And for what? If it's money you want, I'll just call Daddy and have him write you a check that will change your entire lives. Even your great-great-grandfather's lives in their graves. Actually, forget that. I happen to have a blank check in my Gucci bag. I keep one in every purse, for emergencies. You know what? Take the whole bag. It's limited edition. You're welcome.
What happened to your face? Did you dye your hair?
Excuse me? Are you implying I don't look good in every color? But since you asked, no, I'm naturally a redhead. FYI, the rarest hair color on Earth. I actually have 7 hairdressers, one for each day of the week, because I feel different every day. Today was my happy hairdresser. Should have gone with stress.
Boys, I think we got the wrong hostage.
You sure did, and let me tell you.
Shout it! Didn't you have a bodyguard named Carson?
Oh, dear God, don't remind me. He was too serious and way too attractive. Do you know how humiliating it is when your own bodyguard steals the spotlight? People couldn't focus on me with him around. And worst of all, I used to ask him to match his tie to my dress, and he'd just nod, then show up in a completely different color. I've never experienced such betrayal. So, yep, I fired him 1 week ago. Good riddance.
You stupid fools! You should have taken his current client, not her! Sir, what do we do with her now? Keep her. She seems interesting.
Wow. Since when do people get kidnapped for being interesting? Don't get me wrong, I love compliments, but I'm also rich, special, and absolutely kidnapping worthy. I mean, I'm basically a princess. No, I am a princess.
What about the ex-bodyguard?
Wait, he's here too? Oh, my bags! How—
Keep him with her. He deserves some torture.
Excuse me? FYI, being with me is a privilege. Just then, one of the kidnappers ripped the bag off Carson's head. He looked straight at me, those cold, piercing eyes locking onto mine. And oh my God, he looked fine. How does someone get even hotter in just 1 week?
Hello, milady.
Who even talks like that? We're not in some cheap old romance novel. Carson, my lord. When the kidnappers left, I pulled out my handkerchief and handed it to him.
Ma'am, what am I supposed to do with this?
Wipe the shame off your face? This is all because of you. They knew you were the bodyguard of their target, so they assumed I was the target. Thank God my charm worked on them and they decided to keep me alive. Hopefully they'll realize their mistake and let me go soon.
Straight to the afterlife for sure. Ma'am, these people don't joke. They're an organized, dangerous mafia. They kill their hostages.
Organized my butt? Yeah, real professionals. Kidnapping the wrong person? Honestly, I feel insulted. I expected better kidnappers. When I get out of here, I'll just tell the media they're terrifying and highly skilled to make my story sound more dramatic and unhinged.
We need to escape. I have a plan.
Carson spent days silently watching the guards, memorizing their movements, counting how often they checked on us, finding the blind spots of the camera. Me? I was suffocating, worried, and most importantly, bored. When is this going to end? My poor boyfriend must be suffering. Oh, babe. David, my Day-Day, my sugar pumpkin, my Shayla, my dumpling deluxe. I know you're absolutely inconsolable without me, but this is life, my peekaboo. We must endure through pain, through hardship, through 1 whole week of separation. Stay strong, my love. Cry into my sweater if you must.
You're still dating that idiot?
Excuse me? Can't you see I'm communicating telepathically with him? And I do not allow you to speak ill of the love of my life, my precious—
Ma'am, be quiet. Someone is coming.
One of the guards, face covered, came in and tossed a tray of food at us.
If I were you, I wouldn't give this Meredith woman any food. It'll give her energy, and she'll keep talking. Ah, women. What can they do besides talking and wasting money?
How dare he? I sprang up to attack, but Carson grabbed my wrist and pulled me back. The guard left laughing like a hyena, and I fumed.
You should have let him keep talking, ma'am. I needed to memorize his voice. He's the weaker one. Our best chance to escape is during his shift.
Well, no need for his voice. His shoe print is unique in this dusty, stupid room. I know these shoes. It's called the B for Boring brand. Ugh, what ugly taste. I wouldn't even let my enemy wear them in their coffin.
That's a very smart observation, ma'am.
Of course it is.
Then we're ready.
That night, I unleashed my Oscar-winning performance. I started wailing in pain, groaning, kicking the floor, and clutching my stomach. At first, the guard ignored me, but I kept going for hours, moaning like a dying goat until he finally snapped and stormed inside. I dragged myself to the corner. Carson had told me it was a blind spot.
What do you want now?
You were right. We women are useless, just for talking and wasting money. You know what else? Having periods. You know what a period is? Not the lengthy one, the bloody one. Oh, my tummy. It's like I'm pregnant with a baby elephant. He made a face and took a cautious step forward, and I bit his arm. Just transferring the pain of my tummy to your hand. Oh, Mommy, wish you could see your little baby in pain. Give your other arm to bite, sir. It did make me feel better the first time. The guard was now panicking. He was about to push me away when, bam, Carson came out of nowhere, knocking him out cold. I gasped, then clapped my hands. Woohoo! Okay, let's go. But Carson turned to me.
Stay inside.
Excuse me? Yeah, right. Let him go alone while I wait here like a sitting duck? Absolutely not. But just as I tried to follow him, he grabbed my shoulders and said firm and low,
Ma'am, you need to wait here for me.
Why did that sound so attractive? No, bad heart. Wrong man. Carson changed into the guard's clothes and typed the code in without hesitation. He'd memorized it just by watching the guard's fingers move over the keypad. The lock beeped and the door clicked open. From the next room, I heard punches, cursing, furniture breaking, and then silence. Carson reappeared, slightly out of breath, grabbing my wrist.
Let's go.
Wait! I need to get my bag and my heels first. How can I walk in public like this? Carson stared at me like I just asked to adopt a shark.
Ma'am, I have no time for this.
And he threw me over his shoulder and ran. Put me down, you muscular ogre!
No.
And just like that, we were out. We had been walking for hours, and I was exhausted. Hey, Mr. Fighter, why can't I just go home to my mansion?
How sure are you that it's safe there? Maybe they're waiting for you. Maybe showing up will put your entire family in danger. Ma'am, I know these people. We beat them up, we humiliated them. If they don't want ransom anymore, they just want to get their pride back.
Pride, prejudice, pickles. I don't care. At least let me make one phone call. I bet my dad has shut down every company under his name, going on strike to grieve me. I need to tell him I'm alive and that I allow him to keep our businesses running.
There's a public phone at a gas station 5 minutes from here.
When we got to the public phone, I reached into my pockets. Empty. No coins. Ugh. So obviously, I did what any smart, resourceful person would do. I started crying loudly while staring directly at some random guy standing nearby. Maybe he'd take the hint and hand over some change. Carson, clearly confused, just watched, waiting for me to shut up. Oh, I never forget those who helped me. I remember a man once who lent me money when I was in need. And what did I do in return, you ask? I became his girlfriend for 3 hours. He died a few weeks later, and on his grave, he wrote, I spent 30 years on this earth, but I only truly lived for 3 hours. Obviously, he meant the hours he spent with me. Just then, the guy I'd been staring at actually approached us, smirking. Before I could reply, Carson punched him straight in the face.
One punch and some kicking.
The guy stumbled back, wheezing. I quickly stepped between them before Carson actually killed him, and, more importantly, before the guy changed his mind about giving me money. I bent down, snatched the coins from his hand, and he ran off. I turned back to the phone, inserted the coins, and just stood there.
So?
Trying to remember my dad's number.
You don't know your own dad's phone number?
Well, the kidnappers took my phone, and someone didn't let me grab my bag, where, being the responsible person I am, I keep a notebook with all my important contacts. But no, thanks to your, oh, I'm a hero and we should get away fast from the danger, but here we are.
Ma'am.
Wait, I memorized it through a song I made. Hold on, I think it goes like this. ZZ Sack, my first grade crush. Ate glue for a snack, way too much. Z40, left him for N. Oh, what a fate. Stuck with Nate, whose stinky breath I hate. N49. Dumped it for a J. Jonathan. So sweet, so fine, with hair that shined. He stood for 5. 'Cause no number starts with J, obviously, but I liked him enough to have him in the song.
Ma'am, it's fine. I remember your father's number.
He dialed. The moment my dad picked up, I immediately started explaining everything, my voice shaking through my sobs. But then, his voice came through the line, and it sent a chill down my spine.
You need to disappear. Now.
And then, he hung up. We sat in the park, and I just stared off into space, completely lost in thought. Carson must have noticed, because he spoke up.
Ma'am, how about we...
Who does he think he is, being all secretive and mysterious? Oh, you need to disappear, now! What is this, Breaking Bad? Should I start cooking in an RV and going bald for dramatic effect? Does he think I have a plan for this? What am I supposed to do now? Is he ever gonna look for me? Should I try calling him again? How am I even stuck in all this?
Ma'am, we don't know anything for sure, but what I do know is that we need to lay low. We can't use any of our real documents. We need new IDs, passports, everything. I know a guy who can help.
Why are you doing all this for me? You could just leave me to figure it out on my own.
Ma'am, I used to be your bodyguard, and honestly, it wouldn't sit right with me to just leave you to an unknown fate.
He hesitated before continuing.
I have a suggestion. You might not like it, but it's the best option until we figure things out.
I narrowed my eyes. Oh no. What is it?
You need to get married.
Excuse me?
A married couple attracts no suspicion. It gives us a reason to live together, travel together, and stay under the radar. It's the safest cover.
Oh, I'm not confused anymore. Of course, you want to marry me. And how exactly are you going to introduce me? Meet my wife, Ma'am Meredith?
First, you won't be Meredith. You'll need a new name. Something cute. Maybe Sally or Emily.
FYI, my name means great ruler. It suits me perfectly, thank you very much. And if we're picking new names, I've already decided on yours. Apollos.
I think I'll stick with something normal.
Then, in a more serious tone, he explained why this was the best move.
If we're married, I'll be legally tied to you. That means if anything happens, I can step in without raising suspicions. You'll be safer that way.
After some debating, we finally settled on Sally for me and Adam for Carson. Carson reached out to his contact, who arranged everything for us, including fake IDs and papers. He even lent Carson some money to help us get on our feet. And just like that, I went from kidnapped heiress to Miss Sally Nobody in a single day. Sadly, I had to dye my natural red hair and wear lenses. I went with blonde and blue. Classic disguise chic. On our first day in this painfully boring neighborhood, a girl with wild hair came running straight toward us. She looked about my age, maybe younger, but definitely chaotically adorable.
OMG, you're so pretty. And your man, God, like straight out of a romantic movie. Girl. I'm Abby, by the way. And I'm about to be the best friend you ever had.
Oh, I don't like friends.
Me neither.
then we should be friends.
Yeah, we already have something in common in the first 3 seconds of meeting. Imagine in 3 minutes.
Totally. I'm Sally. Want to come in for a cup of matcha?
Did you say matcha? 2 things in common? God, I love you.
I love you too. By the way, this is my husband Adam, but it's just a lavender marriage. We don't love each other. He's gay. He's like a sister to me.
Oh my God. So sweet of you to protect him like that. So sweet. Just like me. I'm sweet too. 3 things in common.
Just then, Carson grabbed my wrist and yanked me aside, his jaw tight.
Ma'am, what are you doing?
Well, she's going to notice we don't kiss or hug, and she'll get suspicious. That was me thinking ahead. Thank me later. Life was hard. I missed my family and my boyfriend. Carson wasn't bad, but things were always formal with him. He, of course, slept on the couch. He had loosened up a little, but he was still serious and boring. At least I had this girl Abby, wild enough to make up for it. Until one day, someone knocked on the door. Carson opened it, and there stood David. Without hesitation, Carson lunged forward, yanked him inside, and shut the door behind him, quickly scanning the area before locking it. Then, like a World War general interrogating a captured spy, he fired off questions.
How did you get in here? Did anyone see you? Did you tell anyone where you were going?
Hey, let the man breathe. I called him. I missed him.
Ma'am, what? Do you have any idea how dangerous that is? It's not just reckless, it's stupid.
Hey, don't talk to her like that. Show respect, bro.
Carson's entire face twitched. Then, without another word, he grabbed David by the collar and lifted him like he was a grocery bag.
How about you shut up and speak only when spoken to?
Hey, Carson, put him down. That's my boyfriend. He's fragile. He has feelings. Carson sighed, rubbing his face like he was trying to physically push the frustration away. He was equal parts furious and disappointed, and he took a moment to gather himself before speaking.
You bringing him here? Your boyfriend? To our house? We're married.
On freaking paper? Look, I appreciate everything you're doing for me. I really do. But I missed him. I've always had a boyfriend. I don't know how to function without one. And I trust David. So please, relax.
Yeah, man. Chill.
Carson shot David a glare so sharp it could cut steel. Then, with a sudden jerk, he lunged forward, startling David so badly that he let out a pathetic yelp and sprinted behind me, grabbing my arm like I was a human shield. Carson allowed David to visit twice a week. Days passed, life grew more boring, and Carson grew more cautious. Ugh, Carson, I'm dying of boredom. I've counted all the ceiling cracks. Twice.
Ma'am, I told you to find a hobby.
Oh, I did. And lucky you, it involves us. We've been invited to a neighborhood dinner, a little welcome to the neighborhood thing. It's this Saturday. It'll be so cute. We'll blend in, meet people, and act like a normal couple.
We are not a normal couple.
Details. Just wear something nice, Apollos.
It's Adam, ma'am, and we're not going.
How dare you? Are you trying to make us look suspicious? If we don't go, people will think we're murderers. Or worse, antisocial. Carson sighed and muttered something under his breath. The backyard was decorated with fairy lights, the smell of barbecue filling the air. Families laughed, kids ran around, and we were stuck at the picnic table of doom. Across from us sat 2 suburban couple extraordinaires, the Sharps.
So, Adam and Sally, how'd you two meet?
I opened my mouth. Carson opened his mouth. And we said completely different things. Oh,
Met through
it was fate.
mutual
Love at
friends.
first sight. He saw me in a coffee shop and boom, instant obsession. Silence. The Sharps exchanged a look.
Oh,
And how long have you been together?
4
1 year.
years. Another silence.
well, that's sweet. And how did he propose?
Oh, it was so romantic. A candlelit dinner, a rooftop view. He cried a little.
I did what?
Yes, you cried. You were overwhelmed by my beauty. You're just too emotionally stunted to remember, Mr. Coldheart.
She's right. I was emotional. I mean, who wouldn't be? After all, she had spent years searching for me.
What?
You see, she once visited a psychic who told her she'd meet the love of her life, a man whose name starts with C. And from that moment on, she searched for me. Every cafe, every street, every parking lot. The moment she laid eyes on me, she said, "What was it again, darling?"
Nope. Not happening.
Yes, I knew it was you. I've seen you in my dreams. And then she begged, pleaded for me to give her a chance. She even showed me her phone background, a photo of me, which she had taken secretly. I know it sounds intense, but I felt sorry for her. So I thought, why not? I'll give this woman who has clearly devoted her life to me a chance. And here we are.
Wait, but you said the psychic told her true love's name would start with C, and yours begins with A.
I crossed my arms, turning to Carson with a slow, satisfied smirk.
Yeah, well, my middle name is Adam. My first name starts with C.
It's Caesar. Like Caesar salad. By the end of the night, I was sure they thought we were complete weirdos. But secretly, seeing this side of him was weirdly entertaining. Who knew Mr. Coldheart had a sense of humor? One day, Abby showed up for her usual visit. Lately, she had developed this charming habit of bringing all the ingredients and cooking at our house, which meant we got to enjoy food that was half burnt, half stiff, and entirely inedible. That day, David was with us. He took one bite, gagged, and immediately spit it out.
Oh man, this is so bad. Even a stray rat would refuse it. And if you made him eat it, he'd take you to court.
And just like that, all hell broke loose.
Look who's talking. Aren't you just a stray rat in designer shoes?
She launched at him like a wild animal. I tried to pull them apart, while Carson, of all things, just sat there looking amused. Would you, I don't know, help? Carson finally stood up, but instead of breaking up the fight immediately, he calmly reached for Abby and gently pulled her away. Dramatically, she clutched his chest.
Let a girl have her revenge.
David stormed out in anger. Later, Carson went to take a shower, and Abby plopped down next to me, still fuming. Then, out of nowhere...
Are you sure your husband's the gay one and not your boyfriend? 'Cause, God, your husband's so manly. Oh, and the way he looks at you, and don't even try to deny that he has feelings for you.
He does?
You're either stupid or blind. Oh my God, am I just the supportive best friend in a K-drama? The one that spends the entire series cheering for the main character to follow her heart? I love that for me! I was born for this role.
Well, I am following my heart. I kind of love David.
We both know you're lying, and there's something you're hiding. But whatever for now. By the way, I like the color of your shirt. This shade of brown, so earthy.
Thanks. I fertilize it every day. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about what Abby had said. Why is Carson doing all this for me? Could it be love? Am I too stupid to see what's right in front of me? A few days later, Abby and I decided to clean the house, even though it was freezing and windy.
Girl, where did you even live before this? Your room stinks. Get yourself a mop and start cleaning.
I had no idea how to use a mop, so I just held it and started scrubbing the walls.
Are you painting the walls with a mop? What's wrong with you?
It's just a cleaning technique I invented.
Oh, and when exactly did you invent it?
Just now.
Oh, totally. In fact, mop therapy is a thing. Just strap it to your head and let it sponge up all your poor life choices.
And so, I did. It's too cold and wet. Who even told you about this therapy?
Oh, I just invented it. Just now. Oh my God, what is wrong with you? Who are you?
Excuse me? FYI, I lived like a princess before this.
And Adam is actually your prince, right? Not some gay bestie in a lavender marriage?
I paused for a half a second too long.
Wait, oh my God, you hesitated. You totally hesitated.
I did not.
You so did. Oh, wow. Are you, like, in denial? Because the tension, palpable? Like, I don't even need to ship you guys. You've already set sail.
I ignored her and continued cleaning. That night, I got sick. I caught a cold. All thanks to that girl, Abby. Ugh, I'm gonna choke her. I was too weak to even make it to my bed, so I just crashed on the couch. Then suddenly, Carson got home. He saw my pale face and red, runny nose and hurried over to me.
Ma'am, are you okay?
Yeah, perfect. Just thought I'd try a different look today. Really up my game for my husband.
He frowned, clearly concerned, then hurried off to make me some soup. When he returned, he gently tried to sit me up. I grabbed onto his shirt for support, only to realize, a second too late, that our faces were suddenly way too close. He looked into my eyes and brushed my hair behind my ear. For a second, my heart fluttered. Then, as if realizing the moment, he straightened and spoke in his usual serious, boring tone.
Ma'am, you need to eat your soup.
I miss my old life, but will everything go back to normal?
I might have some leads. The person who tipped off the mafia gang about you wasn't mistaken. He meant to get them to you. He chose you on purpose.
Who even does that? I'm nice to everyone. I'm practically a walking angel. Aren't I, Carson?
You're okay, ma'am.
And then it happened. A tiny smirk. A small side smile that faded as quickly as it appeared. Is that a smile? You smiled! Lord Cold Carson actually smiled.
I have no idea what you're talking about, ma'am. You're hallucinating from your fever.
Oh no, you smiled. Carson, the smiley, grinning so widely.
I started coughing hard from the singing. Carson immediately leaned in and pressed a hand to my forehead.
You're burning up.
Duh. Glad you finally see it.
I'll stay with you all night until your temperature goes down.
I was already drifting in and out of sleep. It's okay. I called David.
Sure you did.
A few days later, I was feeling better, but still bored out of my mind. Ugh. I've been a fugitive for, 3 weeks? I've already lost my glow. Look at my skin. This is what stress and middle-class living do to a person.
Ma'am, you're wearing a silk robe, and you spent an hour doing skincare.
And yet, my suffering continues. I miss him.
Who?
David. My love, my joy, my walking designer handbag.
So an accessory.
How dare you? He's not just an accessory. He's the whole outfit. That day, I called David and suggested we go out for a walk. A few hours later, he pulled up to our house in his brand new Lamborghini, music blasting, honking like a madman. I was about to walk over when Carson materialized out of nowhere, striding straight past me to David's car. He knocked on the window, gesturing for David to get out. David, pretending he didn't hear him, acted very busy checking himself in the rearview mirror and started brushing his eyebrows. When I tried to enter the car, Carson blocked me.
What exactly do you think you're doing?
Let's see. Walking to the car, getting in, driving away for some fresh air before our couch absorbs me into its fabric from sitting on it all day.
No, ma'am, you can't do that. I'm stopping you.
Well, watch me. Carson, I just need some relaxing time. Don't worry, I won't attract any attention, I promise. Please, Carson, pretty please. Just then, David rolled down his window and yelled, because of course he did.
Yo, Meredith! You coming or what?
Shh! Say my name louder, why don't ya? Maybe alert the whole city.
That's it, I'm ripping his eyes out.
Whoa, that's a bit intense. Right then, Abby appeared out of nowhere, arms crossed.
Wait, hold on. Why did he just call you Meredith?
Carson whipped around, clearly at the end of his patience.
Were you spying on us? Have you done that before? How many times?
Carson, chill. It's fine. I'll just go for an hour, I promise. Hey, I'll even bring Abby if it makes you feel less jealous.
Meredith, it's not about jealousy. It's about the fact that people literally want to kill you.
But I'd had enough of this suffocating life. So before Carson could keep arguing, I grabbed Abby's hand and dragged her into the car with me. The park was quiet. The cool evening air brushing against my skin. I took a deep breath, stretching my arms. Freedom at last.
Abby had wandered off to buy snacks from a food cart.
So, Meredith, crazy how life works, huh?
I turned to him, raising an eyebrow. Weird opener, but okay. Yeah, totally. Super deep. Love this chat. Then he grabbed my wrist. Not playfully, not casually, hard. My stomach dropped. David? His fingers tightened around my wrist, his jaw clenched.
You really have no idea, do you?
Something about his voice made the hairs on my arms stand up.
Your father destroyed my family, and now his clueless little heir gets to take everything while we lost it all?
David, let go. His grip tightened more. My pulse spiked.
No more heirs. No more Meredith. I tried to get rid of you before, with that gang, but your stupid Carson ruined everything. So now, I'm doing it myself.
His free hand slipped into his jacket. I tried to yank back, but he was too strong. Panic started clawing at my chest. Then, a blur. Before I could even process it, David was ripped away from me. A loud thud. Carson slammed him to the ground, hard. David gasped, stunned, struggling against Carson's grip.
I had my suspicions about you, and so did her father. We've been in contact this whole time, waiting to catch you red-handed and take you down for good. But we couldn't act without proof. You were too careful, too clean. Until now.
David's face fell. Before he could react, officers emerged from their hidden spots, closing in fast. Then, he was gone. The second the police took him, I let out a shaky breath. Carson's gaze was still locked on me. And then, he took a step closer, and another. Before I could react, his hand cupped my face gently, and his thumb brushed against my cheek. His gaze dropped to my lips, and then he kissed me. The world tilted. Silence. Then,
Ha! I knew it!
My parents were billionaires, so I got whatever I wanted growing up. Dad was the head of a huge fashion company that my mom helped him run. Dad was ruthless in the boardroom, like an ancient warrior. But when it came to me and my mom, he was a total pushover. He gave us everything we could ever want. Just one island? Anything for my girls. I'd give you the moon if you asked for it. Even though my life was practically perfect, I had a bad stutter, which made me a laughing stock at school. Wow, that's a pretty skirt. Where did you get it from? Shouldn't it? It's cool. I'll just check some stores. It was awkward, and my parents took me to the best doctors, tried speech therapy, medication, and even hypnotism, but nothing helped. I started to lose confidence, but my parents were always supportive and inspired me to accept myself, just as I am. It doesn't matter if it takes you 1 try or 100. Never stop speaking your mind. Your voice is just as important as anyone else's. As I grew older, I became more comfortable with my condition and even made friends at school. But my favorite thing in the world was being the princess of my house. Life was good, till I turned 13 and everything changed. My parents told me they were adopting from the orphanage, but it wasn't just 1 girl, but 5. I wasn't as thrilled as they were, but I didn't show it to my parents. Besides, it could be fun to have so many sisters. So I got on board. The day they were supposed to come home, I decked up the whole place and must have tried 100 dresses before finding the perfect one. I wanted to make a good impression. The oldest one, Olivia, was my age, and from the looks of it, she loved fashion just as much as I did. I'm Grace. Pleased to meet you. Olivia was so busy sizing up my outfit, I don't think she even heard me. I like your dress, but the ribbons are so tacky. And what's with those shoes? You know what? You look so cute with braids in this outfit, even though it's a little, weird. I think she looks nice. Ignore Olivia. She's just jealous. It was clear from the beginning that Olivia had an issue with me for some odd reason, but at least the other 4 were gentle. Margot and Beatrice didn't care about fashion, but they were easy to talk to. We became friends in no time, gossiping about boys and school, and fighting over the best spot by the pool. Harper and Quinn were younger and stuck to themselves. Harper was obsessed with insects and was always collecting ladybugs and other creepy crawlies. Quinn was like her sister's shadow, silently following her everywhere. A week after my sister's arrival, my parents took us on a shopping spree so they wouldn't have to wear the same clothes from the orphanage. And Olivia bought everything I did. At first, she just wore the same belt or hat, but soon she was copying my whole outfit. Why are you copying me? I think you're copying me, but it's cool. I know I have a great eye for fashion, so it's a compliment. Oh my God, the new Gucci bag! I didn't care if Olivia wanted to dress like me. It just bugged me that she was lying about it. So one day, I pretended I was gonna wear the ugliest outfit, but then I changed at the last second. Olivia showed up to breakfast looking like a clown. Wow, Olivia, you look so good. Yeah, right? I saw Gummy Hadid wearing this. You mean Gigi? And I don't think that she would ever wear something this funny. The only thing funny here is the way you talk.
Olivia, apologize this minute.
Why? It's just harmless jokes between sisters, Dad. Whatever. Sorry, Grace. Please don't cry now. After that day, Olivia stopped copying my outfits, but we just couldn't see eye to eye. I tried to be friendly, but she was just a mean witch. So after a while, I stopped being nice and just ignored her. While Olivia was a pain in my butt at home, in school, I had Pearl. She was the head cheerleader and a total bully. One day, my sisters and I were eating in the food court at the mall when Pearl swooped in like a vulture. How are you doing, Grace? Just leave me alone. What? I didn't quite catch that. Were you trying to say something? Zip it, moron. Don't you have something else to do? Like bore people with your dumb cheerleading moves? Oh, but I'm getting bored. And you're so entertaining. Did I do that right? That was perfect. Before I could say anything, Harper pulled out a jar of ladybugs from her backpack and dumped them on Pearl's hair. What have you done, you moron? Pearl screamed and ran off. Instead of staying with us, Olivia took off to help her. Thanks for sticking up for me, you guys. Of course, we sisters need to have each other's backs. I just wish Olivia wasn't such a blind duck. Oh, she'll come around. Only she didn't. She started getting weird around me. And then one day, something unbelievable happened. Pearl turned into Olivia's evil minion. She followed her around like a shadow. If Olivia made a dumb joke, Pearl laughed. If Olivia wanted a cookie, Pearl brought her one. Pearl would have helped Olivia make a monster in a lab if she asked. This was so weird and fishy. I tried to find out what Pearl's deal was, but then I got busy with school assignments and forgot all about it. They were a match made in hell anyway. A week later, Mom and Dad called us into the study for a big announcement.
It's my dream that my girls join the family business one day. And with Fashion Week coming up, I want all my girls to help with their brilliant ideas. The best ones will end up on the ramp, so give it your best shot.
Oh, my God, Dad. This is such an amazing opportunity. I won't let you down. Yes, Dad. You'll love our designs. Olivia smiled at me, but the moment Mom and Dad left, she went back to her devilish smirk. Ugh, dramatic much? This opportunity is mine, and I will own it. You can relax and watch me work if you'd like. Think of it as a learning experience. Say what you want, but I know Dad will pick my designs, so watch out. I stayed up late every night working on my dress. My other sisters made their own dresses for fun, but everyone knew Olivia and I were the only ones taking it seriously. We both really wanted to impress Dad. The night before Dad judged the dresses, Olivia snuck into the studio and destroyed my dress. Luckily for me, Harper and Quinn saw her sneaking out and told me what happened. I knew she was jealous of me, but this was an all-new low. How was I supposed to make a new dress overnight? That's when an idea struck me. If I couldn't beat Olivia fair and square, I'd just have to play tricks with her. So, I swapped her dress for my ruined one. The next day, when Dad walked into the studio to judge our dresses, we both took the sheets off of our mannequins, and Olivia's mouth dropped open in shock to see what I'd done. But obviously, she couldn't tell Dad that the dress was really hers without admitting that she'd destroyed mine.
Grace, I pick you. This isn't your usual style, but it's certainly beautiful. Olivia, it's a shame you gave up on your dress. It looks like it could have been something special.
I know, Dad. Wonder what happened. Oh, don't be a sore loser, Ollie. I'm sure you'll do just as good as the next time, if there is a next time. I wasn't one to gloat usually, but the look on Olivia's face was so satisfying. A few days later, we were all on a flight to Paris for Fashion Week, and Olivia couldn't stop glaring at me. That's my dress that's about to go down the runway. You shouldn't steal credit, and you shouldn't sabotage people. Olivia, why can't we leave this stupid fight and just be friends? Friends? With you? No thank you. And I know you hate me, so please stop pretending. I don't. Stop talking. You're giving me a headache. Olivia then got up, and for the rest of Fashion Week, she totally ignored me. Pin that hem. Olivia, hand me that hat. Olivia! What? Can't you see I'm on the phone? Can you help? Who are you even talking to? Ugh, just leave me alone. This girl was so weird. Even when we got back, she wouldn't talk to me, not even rudely. She'd either stay in her room or hang out with Pearl. And worse was that she'd started inviting Pearl to our place, which really annoyed me. Oops, I got to that first. Ugh. After a successful show at Fashion Week, Dad started getting a lot of orders. He worked for months on a new line, and all the designs were kept under lock and key in his studio, and nobody was allowed inside. But in less than 2 weeks before his runway show, someone leaked pictures of the new collection all over the internet. The tabloids went wild guessing who it could be.
I can't believe someone would do this. All my hard work is gone. Nobody has access to my study except you girls. If anyone knows something, tell me now.
I took a quick look at everyone, and all of us were equally shocked.
Fine. If that's what you want, you're all grounded with no phone privilege or allowance.
But we didn't do anything. That's not fair. But Dad simply frowned and left. We all know you did it, Olivia. Just admit it. It wasn't me. I would never do that to Dad. Relax, guys. This is not the time to turn on each other. Dad didn't talk to us for days, and it really hurt me to watch all my sisters so sad and depressed. But Olivia looked extra worried. She would stay in her room, refusing to talk to anyone. One day, I was taking an evening stroll in the garden when I noticed Olivia slipping out of the house, and she looked really anxious. I wanted to stop her, but then I decided to follow her, and she stopped in front of Pearl's house. Ugh, what do you want now? I know you're the one who stole my keycard and then stole Dad's designs and leaked them, Pearl. I should have never taken you into the study that day. Yeah, that was kinda dumb. Especially since you know my mom's company is your #1 competitor. You made it so easy to steal your designs. And now we'll be on top, while you guys will eat dirt. In your dreams, you sick psycho. No, not when the whole world would know what big fat cheaters you all are. Olivia looked at me in shock as I pulled out the phone and started playing back the recording with Pearl's confession. Give me that. Not so easy. Besides, I've already uploaded it, so there's nothing you can do. Pearl was at a loss for words, and suddenly her phone started ringing. Must be your mom. If I were you, I'd think of going underground for a few days. Pearl ran away crying, and Olivia turned to me. I'm so sorry, Grace. I should have been smarter. You should have. But right now, we need to figure out how to help Dad. We don't have much time before the show. So are you with me? Yes, of course I am. My sisters and I locked ourselves in the mansion for a week straight, staying up late every night, altering his designs. Harper and Quinn did all the sketching, and Marco and Beatrice gathered all the fabrics and accessories Dad would need. Then Olivia and I helped Dad put everything together. When the day of the fashion show arrived, we were ready. The paparazzi and critics were waiting for the curtains to rise, expecting the show to be a disaster with all the leaked designs. But when the curtain rose and the spotlights came on, the entire audience gasped. The new designs were even more beautiful, and the show was a massive success. And Dad was super proud.
You set aside your differences, and you worked hard. You pulled together as a family. I'm so proud of all of you.
It was Grace. She's the one who brought us together on this. Team effort. That's what sisters are for. Olivia and I smiled at each other as the rest of my sisters hugged me. I just knew everything would always be fine as long as we stuck together. The moment my mom gave birth to me, everyone in the village instantly fell in love with me. I was the world's friendliest baby and loved attention. Then when I was 2 years old, my sister Emily was born, and she was a little different. Every time Emily was around people, she would scream and find somewhere to hide. One day when I was 8 and Emily was 6, Mom and Dad had a royal garden party. I loved talking to all the grown-up guests, but Emily was terrified.
Leah, I don't want to be with all these people. I want to be in my room, but Mom isn't letting me.
Here, you can hide underneath my gown. Then no one will see you and I'll sneak you out. But hiding my sister underneath my dress wasn't the best idea. I ended up tripping over the refreshment table, spilling a chocolate fountain over some lady's dress. Mom and Dad were horrified, and my clumsy accident ended up being all over the news. But my parents didn't blame me for what happened. They were just worried and confused.
Why is Emily so anxious and afraid of everyone? Was it something we did? It just doesn't make any sense.
Emily's anxiety only got worse over the years. By the time she was 8, she refused to even leave our bedroom. Everyone in the village still adored me, but they were convinced something was seriously wrong with Emily.
I hear she just stares out her window all day. It's a shame she's not more like her sister Leah.
Worst of all, Emily wanted me to stay with her in our room all the time. I couldn't even go downstairs for dinner without Emily crying.
Please don't leave me. I'm so lonely, and you're the only person that I actually like.
It was so hard saying no to her. My parents tried enrolling her in therapy, but nothing seemed to work. And as time passed, I got tired of being cooped up in her room and wanted to go and have a life. One night when I was 16, I took a walk around the castle to get some fresh air. Then suddenly, I looked up and almost had a heart attack. There was a guy trying to climb onto the roof. Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Climbing onto the roof? What does it look like?
Excuse me, but this happens to be the King and Queen's castle? You better climb down before I tell my parents about this. The guy jumped down from the roof, landing inches away from me.
There, I came down. You're welcome.
With that, he just walked off, and I felt my blood boil. I just knew he'd been trying to cause trouble. The next day, I came down for breakfast, and I was shocked to see my parents with the guy who climbed the roof.
Oh, darling, you're awake. I'd like you to meet Nico. He's the Duke's son and a lovely young man.
But I saw him climbing onto the roof of the castle last night. He's dangerous. He was up to no good.
No. Nico just likes lying on our roof to watch the stars at night.
What? My parents were crazy. What king and queen would let some weirdo climb their castle walls at night and believe such a stupid lie? Fine, be naive and let this intruder do his thing. But when he puts all our lives in danger, don't come crying to me. I was gonna sneak up on Nico and see what he was up to. I would have one of our guards bring me up to the roof with a harness and a rope. But that night, as I rose up to the castle roof, I saw Nico sitting with tears in his eyes. He didn't even look surprised to see me. Nico, are you okay? I came to check on you, but...
I figured you'd check on me sooner or later, and I haven't been okay for years.
What do you mean?
I'm not really the Duke's son. I'm adopted. When I was 10 years old, my parents left me, and they never came back.
Wow, I didn't know that.
My parents were friends with your parents, so they'd take me up here a lot when I was young. My mom and I used to sit here together and watch the stars. Once, she told me if I ever got lost to come up to this spot and she'd know where to find me. I know she'll never come here, but hanging out at this spot makes me feel closer to her. Your dad's a saint. He was the one who convinced the Duke to adopt me. I just wish I didn't miss my parents so much.
I was too stunned to speak. I had totally misjudged him. We ended up talking for hours, and before I knew it, the sun had come up. I should go, but this was really fun. Maybe we can do this again tomorrow night?
I'd like that. You're a good listener, Leah.
Then one day, something crazy happened. I was having lunch at school when suddenly a few girls came up to me with smirks on their faces. According to one of your maids, your weirdo sister threw a chair at a new maid of yours this morning? We didn't know she was that crazy. Oh God, I wanted to disappear. They should just lock her up forever. You shouldn't have said that.
I yanked the girl's hair hard and she started to scream. Just then, someone pushed the girl backwards and I saw it was Nico. You forgot you're speaking to our future queen, girls. Come on, Leah, let's go for a walk. Nico led me away from the girls, and that's when I asked him how he was in my school. I've been homeschooled my whole life, but my dad decided it was time I start studying with other royals. I was really happy Nico had transferred, but his words made me think of Emily. She had never been able to go to a normal school. All of a sudden, I had tears in my eyes, and I told Nico everything about Emily, how she never came out of her room, how my parents were ashamed of her, and how I always needed to stay with her. What if the girls are right? What if Emily really is crazy and she starts losing her mind? I don't know, but you shouldn't have to sacrifice your life for her. Emily probably just needs someone outside her family to feel safe with. If you want, I'll come over and talk to her. I hugged Nico and immediately agreed. That night, I brought him into our bedroom and Emily started having a panic attack. Hey, it's okay. Nico's a friend. Then suddenly, Emily stood up to really get a look at Nico. And seconds later, she was swooning.
I never knew Leah had such handsome friends. You know I'm a princess too, right?
Emily started flirting with Nico like crazy. But as the night went on, Nico got her to start opening up about her issues. I get what you're going through. Sometimes I get so depressed, I don't even want to leave my bed. But sometimes being alone makes it worse. How about I introduce you to some of my friends from school? We can start slow. To my shock, Emily agreed. Nico and I started out by taking her for walks in the park, and once in a while introducing her to people. I was so grateful for Nico, and as time passed, we grew really close, and I secretly started having feelings for him. Then one night, the three of us were walking along the pier when suddenly Nico tripped and fell sideways into the lake, hitting his head on a rock. Then he started sinking into the water. I jumped into the lake to get him. When I managed to pull him out, he was unconscious. Luckily, I knew CPR, and within an hour, he started to wake up. He was saved. The next day, I went to visit Nico at his house to see how he was. When I got there, he was lying on the couch and he looked super out of it. Hey, how are you feeling? I just remember that I hit a rock and almost drowned, and that someone special saved my life. You have no idea how much it means to me, Leah. I haven't felt this loved in years. My heart soared. I was just about to lean in and kiss him when Emily came over and Nico took her hand. Emily told me she dove into the water to get me and then did CPR. She's an absolute angel. To my horror, Nico pulled Emily close and kissed her. I felt like I was gonna throw up. I yanked Emily's arm and pulled her into the other room. How could you take credit for saving Nico's life? He's been my best friend for the past year, and you know what? I'm in love with him. Leah, I've been miserable my whole life. I don't know if any guy will want to be with me ever, considering all the issues I have. This could be my once-in-a-lifetime chance at happiness, but I guess that doesn't matter. So go tell Nico the truth and be the village hero. I'll just lock myself away in this bedroom forever. Emily stormed off into the bathroom and slammed the door. I couldn't think straight. I ran out of Nico's palace to clear my head. I wanted to tell Nico the truth so badly, but what if Emily was right? What if this was her one chance at a normal life? In the end, I decided to let Emily take the credit. It probably wouldn't be a big deal. She'd get to be the village hero for once. Plus, it wasn't like she and Nico were gonna get married overnight. I had time to think things over. Except Emily's fame lasted for more than a week. Worst of all, she and Nico were getting close. The two of them even went out together. He comforted her every time she had a panic attack and congratulated her every time she left the castle. God, was he her boyfriend or her babysitter? Then one night, my parents invited Nico over for dinner, and Dad made an announcement that sent me over the edge. After much thought and discussion, we would like for Nico to be our new king. We love him like our own son, and we can't think of who'd be a better husband for our daughter. My jaw dropped. I was gonna be with Nico after all? Everything was gonna work out? But Emily was fuming. You're just gonna take Nico away from me? Like that? You mean I'm gonna marry Leah? Actually, you're going to marry Emily, and she's going to be the queen instead of Leah. You two make such a beautiful couple, and it was truly a miracle that Emily was able to save your life, even with all her challenges, and that's remarkable. I felt like I'd been punched in the face.
That's insane! I'm the eldest daughter. I've been preparing to be queen my whole life. And you know what? I'm the one who saved Nico. I should have never let Emily lie and take the credit for it. And I'm not letting her take my crown or marry Nico either. Before anyone could react, I fled from the table and into my bedroom. Then suddenly, I felt someone standing over me, and it was Emily, with fire in her eyes. Why would you rat me out like that? You can still have any guy you want, as long as it's not Nico. I've loved Nico for over a year. Emily, I've sacrificed everything for you. I spent days on end locked in this room so you wouldn't feel scared and alone. Is this the thanks I get? So, you're saying I owe you in some way? I never asked you to sacrifice yourself for me. You could have left me for a few hours if it was too much. It's not my fault you don't know how to set boundaries. Sorry, but I'm only responsible for my own happiness. That was it. Without thinking, I slapped Emily across the face hard. Emily turned around and was about to push me, but instead, she tripped and fell backwards, tumbling down the stairs. Everyone called for help and an ambulance came. What had I done? I went with everyone to the hospital, but I wasn't able to see Emily yet. I felt sick to my stomach. Suddenly, I felt someone's hand on my shoulder. It was Nico.
Hey, Emily's gonna be okay. She'll be in a cast for a few weeks, but don't worry.
I think there's something seriously wrong with me. How could I hurt my sister like that?
Maybe because you were fed up with letting her take what's yours? The servants overheard your conversation with Emily, that it was you who saved me and how you let her take the credit.
I was totally silent. I hadn't really thought of it that way, but Nico had a point.
Also, I need to confess something. I'm in love with you too. I've been in love with you for ages. I thought I loved Emily because she saved my life, but we don't have that connection that you and I have. I want to be with you, Leah, not your sister.
Suddenly, Nico leaned in to kiss me. Oh God, I wanted to kiss him so bad, but what about Emily? I couldn't do this to her. I ran away from Nico at that second. I had to talk to Emily. I went out to bring her flowers and then apologized for everything. Actually, I'm the one who owes you an apology. I went way too far by stealing both Nico and your crown from you. I know Nico doesn't see me like that. It's okay, Emily. It's in the past now. Everything is gonna be all right. I'm so glad you're okay. Honestly, me too. I hugged my sister tight. Today, I'm married to Nico as the Queen of Liechtenstein. And Emily is married too, with 3 kids.
The day I was born was quite an exciting one at the hospital. When she held me for the first time, she gasped at my eyes. They were midnight blue in the center with a light blue ring outside. The nurses were stunned too, and well, a bit confused. Blue eyes are rare, and you both have brown eyes. Quite unusual.
What are you trying to say, woman? You think this isn't our child? Did you cause a mix-up in the nursery?
No, of course not, sir. I was only saying.
How about you keep your useless opinions to yourself? Her eyes are nothing special to talk about.
And for some reason, it always really annoyed him when people noticed and talked about my eyes, which was every time they met me. And as I grew older, I started realizing that I had a strange power. I could get what I wanted using my eyes. Let me give you an example. Once when I was 6, I went with my parents to their friend's house, who had twins my age. I could tell the boy was really sweet, but the girl didn't like me much. When she left the room for a while, the boy climbed onto her bunk bed and returned with a beautiful doll. Her eyes are just like yours. I think you should have her. Oh, wow, really? Thank you so much. Hey, thief! You can't have my doll. But your brother gave it to me. It even looks like me. It's not his, it's mine. And it looks nothing like you, witch. Let go. I pulled harder and suddenly the doll's head snapped off. The girl burst into tears and went running to our parents. Oh boy, I'd be in so much trouble with Dad. Suddenly, I looked deep into the boy's eyes. You'll tell everyone that your sister broke the doll's neck because she didn't want me to play with it. You'll say that, won't you? And that's what he said, word for word. The girl's parents apologized to me and scolded her. Over time, I just couldn't help using my eyes more often to get my way. Sometimes I knew it was wrong, but it was just too easy. I only had to look at people with my big baby blues, and teachers would help me during exams. People would give up their seats on the bus, and if someone got the last hot dog at lunch before me, they were sure to surrender it. By the time I was in high school, I was quite popular with the boys and had my girl gang too. But I knew I wasn't well liked by the mean girls, especially the head cheerleader Cadence. She was the girl whose doll I'd broken as a kid, and she hated me since. One day in 9th grade, a group of cheerleaders and jocks in the cafeteria were talking about a cool new movie they were going to watch that weekend. It sounded like fun, and I wanted an invite. So I walked straight up to this boy, Zach. "Hey guys, I was wondering if I could tag along to the movies with you this weekend." Zach hesitated, and then he looked directly into my eyes. I knew what his answer would be.
Of course, Phoebe.
"Thanks, Zach. You're a sweetheart. Did you just invite her to the movies without asking any of us?"
What's the big deal? I don't think anyone has a problem.
The rest just shrugged, and Cadence glared at me before storming off. I was still grinning when I walked over to my locker later, and I found her waiting there. "You're not going to the movies. No way. I don't care what Zach said. You're uninvited. What are you gonna do? Ban my entry into the cinema?"
You can't, so I'll see you there.
I turned to leave, but she knocked my books out of my hand and stepped on them. I grabbed her by the hair and we broke into a cat fight. We both ended up in the principal's office, and she immediately called our parents. I didn't do anything. She started it. I hadn't even touched her. She pulled my hair. The principal also called in a few witnesses from the hallway, and luckily for me, it was a bunch of boys I knew. I only had to look at them, and they all said Cadence was to blame. No way! She can't get away with everything just by batting her dumb eyes. She looks like an angel, but she's a lying witch who has everyone dancing to her tune. But Cadence got detention while I was let off with just a warning. On the car ride home though, Mom and Dad were really quiet. "Why are you guys acting like I killed someone? It was just a silly fight over a movie plan."
Why do I feel like I believe Cadence? You've always tried to get your way by manipulating people ever since you were a kid. Now it seems worse than I thought.
Okay, so people are sometimes nice to me and do what I ask. What's so wrong with that?
We'll talk about this tomorrow. You are grounded for a week.
What? Why the heck?
Phoebe, enough. You heard what your dad said.
I felt really mad at both of them. But the next morning, I found them waiting for me in the dining room with a small box on the table.
What's this? Something to cover up your eyes. You need to learn that life isn't so easy, and you can't just get whatever you want.
Inside the box were brown contact lenses. They were the color of mud. Are you kidding me? You think I'm gonna wear those?
You have to wear them if you want to continue going to school.
I looked over at my mom, who wouldn't even look me in the eyes. But I could tell Dad was completely serious, and Mom just didn't have my back. With angry tears, I grabbed the box and ran out of there. It took me a few tries to wear the contacts, but I finally managed. And I hated what I saw staring back at me in the mirror. It wasn't me. At school, I was hoping by some miracle no one would notice. But of course, everyone did. Why are your eyes suddenly brown? Did your evil spell finally wear off once you got all your wishes? Everyone's comments made things hard because it felt really embarrassing to say my dad was making me wear brown lenses. I made up some lame excuse about how the doctor had recommended them for an eye condition, but it didn't seem to convince anyone. And suddenly, no one seemed to care about me much. Luckily, a month later, Dad's job caused him to transfer to another state. A fresh start was exactly what I needed. No one in school there would ever know I had blue eyes before. But it was quite strange walking into this new place and not having anyone pay much attention to me. My classmates seemed pleasant enough, but everyone just went off with their groups at lunch. I was sitting outside having lunch under a tree when someone dropped down next to me. "Hello, mind if I join you?" "You already have, and I don't mind at all." "Good, 'cause I'm too tired to get up anyway. Plus, I've been waiting for someone new to show up for ages. All these other girls just talk about boys and makeup, and they think they're from another planet. Or they think I'm from another planet, I'm not sure. Her name was Grace, and I warmed up to her instantly. We quickly became close friends, but I just couldn't tell her my stupid secret. A few weeks later, we were sitting on the gym floor making decorations for an event when some guys started playing basketball. And suddenly, the ball came flying at me and hit me smack in the face. I opened my eyes, and looking down at me was a gorgeous boy with black hair and the deepest blue eyes ever. Had I died and gone to heaven?
Hey, are you okay?
Of course she's not okay, you moron. You could have killed my best friend. Help me up, will you? Grace pulled me up, but my knees gave way and the boy swept me up effortlessly. He carried me to the bleachers and said he'd be back with some water. Phoebe, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I see. Yeah, you aren't fine. And if he has his way, you never will be again. What do you mean? Just then the boy returned with a water bottle and knelt beside me.
Really sorry. We should have been more careful.
Oh, don't worry. I don't mind. I mean, it's just a ball, not a rocket. Now that would hurt. I don't know what I'm saying. Maybe I have a concussion, but I'm okay. O-Y-A-K. See? I can still spell. He just smiled at me and ran off to his friends. What a blubbering idiot. I turned to Grace and saw she'd already left. Later that night, I got permission from my parents to stay over at Grace's. So tell me, what do you know about the gym boy? That's Levi. He's my older brother. You're what now? Yeah, I know. Different set of genes. But Phoebe, he's a heartbreaker. He changes girlfriends faster than he changes underwear. He knows he's good looking, and he uses it to make girls like him, and then bam! 2 weeks later, some girl is crying in the school bathroom, and he's got a new girlfriend. Really? But he seems sweet. How would you know? He's my brother, and I'm telling you, he's a jerk. Is he here? Like right now? Yeah. But you don't want to talk to him, right? You're here to have a slumber party with me, and I just told you he's a jerk, right? Gotcha. But I couldn't get Levi off my mind. Grace messaged me on Monday that she had the flu and wasn't coming to school, and I decided this was a great chance to talk to her brother. On the bus, I was thinking about what I'd say to him when someone sat down next to me.
Sorry, seats in the back are full.
Holy lady luck! It was Levi, but it seems like he hadn't recognized me and just started reading a book. What you reading? He turned the cover to me without looking my way. Oh, nice. I've never read that.
Okay, good to know.
Wow, he did seem like a bit of a jerk, but I wasn't giving up yet. If it's good, maybe I'll read it. I'm the girl from the gym, by the way. The one you hit with the basketball.
I know that. I didn't have memory loss. It's just that you're Grace's BFF, and she told me to stay away from you.
That's strange. She didn't say anything to me. And why can't we all be friends? Grace was down with some virus and couldn't attend school for 2 weeks, and I ended up spending all my time with Levi. He was gorgeous, but he was also funny and thoughtful, and I just couldn't help liking him. And I had a feeling he liked me too. But when Grace returned, she was furious seeing us together. So what? You've replaced me with Levi now? Of course I haven't. You weren't here and we just started hanging out. And now you're in love with him, aren't you? Even after what I said, doesn't take anyone too long to fall in love with Levi. He gets anything he wants. I was upset that Grace was mad, but I didn't want to give up on Levi either. Later that day, as I was running an errand, I passed by a cafe window and stopped in my tracks. Levi was sitting there with some blonde girl I'd never seen before. He suddenly spotted me and I started walking away quickly.
Phoebe, please stop. It's not what it looks like.
It's none of my business, Levi, so no need to explain. I obviously misread some signs. You should go back to your girlfriend. 2 weeks and it's time for a new girl, yeah? Just like Grace said.
She said what?
That you're a heartbreaker and that you change girls faster than clothes and that I should stay away from you?
Phoebe, she made that up, okay? I went out with her best friend a year ago and things ended badly between us. She blocked out Grace too and moved away, and it broke Grace's heart. In fact, that girl in the cafe is my ex. She's in town and wanted to return some things. And you didn't misread any signs. I like you, a lot, and I was planning to ask you to the winter dance.
I need to talk to Grace first, okay? I had a heart-to-heart with Grace, and she admitted that she'd lied about Levi. I know he's a good guy, but I don't want to lose another friend. Pinky swear, no matter what happens between me and your brother, we'll stay friends forever. We decided to go shopping together for the winter dance, and I found a beautiful blue dress. As I looked in the dressing room mirror, I suddenly took my contacts out and called Grace. What happened to your eyes? I told her all about how I'd get whatever I wanted because of my eyes, so my parents made me cover them up. That is ridiculous. They can't make you do that. I know, but maybe it hasn't been the worst thing. I got you and Levi, and it has nothing to do with my eyes. But yeah, I think I just want to be myself now. When I got home, I walked into the lounge where my parents were watching TV.
What have you done?
I'm tired of covering up my real eyes. This is who I am, and I won't hide it anymore. I'm done with your controlling nonsense.
You'll do what I say as long as you live under my roof.
Then maybe I won't live under your roof. I went upstairs to gather my things so I could go stay at Grace's house when suddenly Mom came in. I need to show you something. She pulled out contacts from her eyes, and they were the brightest blue, just like mine. Your dad hated the attention I attracted, and after we got married, he made me cover them up. But you're brave to stand up for yourself, and I don't want to let you down again. I'm leaving with you. We packed our things and left Dad for good. We checked into a hotel until we could find a place, but for the first time, I saw Mom happy and free. The next day, I put on my blue dress for the dance, and Levi came to pick me up.
Grace told me about your eyes. You look beautiful.
You think so?
Yeah, but no matter what color they are, I'd think that anyway.
I was born on the 10th of December, 1815, in a super rich family in London and lived with my governess, the servants, and a pet cat, Mrs. Puff, in a huge mansion in the countryside. My mom was a very famous social worker and was mostly away, but whenever she'd return home, I'd try my best to make the most of it. Mom, I made this drawing for you. Mom, I learned to ride a unicycle. Isn't it cool? Look, I can walk upside down. It was like everything I did was to impress Mom.
Ada, I don't want you wasting your time in these senseless things. Darling, you are made for greatness. I will have the best tutors in the world for you.
Mom was pretty bent on making me stop wasting my time, so she hired an army of tutors to teach me at home. I was being taught everything, from mathematics to astronomy, from literature to history. I was even learning French and Spanish. But I just couldn't sit through the lessons. They seemed so boring. Every time my teachers would start a topic, I'd want to go out and play, which I wasn't allowed to do because Mom had set all these rules for me to follow, a proper timetable, and even a meal plan. But then I found a way to make it work. I promised my teachers that I'd study if they gave me multiple breaks throughout the day, and they agreed. After every lesson, I'd go out and enjoy the weather, and it made learning fun for me. With the best teachers in all of England, I started to finally like studying, and my curiosity about things just kept growing. I'd lay my eyes on something and wanted to know how it worked. Why does the wind blow? If the earth is spinning, why don't we spin with it? Why aren't we dizzy? Where does the rain come from? And why is the rainbow always an arc? Why is it not a circle? One time, I wrote a poem about rainbows and read it to my mom. I thought I did a pretty good job, but Mom looked royally pissed.
Ada, what is all this? Poetry? I hate it. I am giving you this lavish life, far away from all the worries and troubles of the world, and you waste your time writing poems of all things? I hate poems. I'm going to get you new tutors. Looks like you have too much time to waste. Saying that, she went to her room where I was never allowed to enter because she always kept it locked. Mom thought I was some dumb kid who couldn't pick a lock and enter her room. As a matter of fact, I had known what she was hiding in that room right from the start. My dad. Actually, pictures of my dad. I had heard the servants often talk about him. My dad was a very famous poet. He was basically the first celebrity of England. He was sort of like a rock star of his time and had a massive fan following. People from far away would come to listen to his poetry, and that didn't sit well with my mom. My mom hated his work, and they'd argue so much that when I was just 2 months old, he moved away and never looked back. Mom didn't want me to be like him, and that was the reason she wanted me to always be super busy with studies. But Mom forgot I was my own person. Yeah, I had started to love science and mathematics, but I also loved something else that I don't think my mom ever experienced. Having fun. Like, everyone knows how fun it is to play in the mud and run like crazy in the rain, but for Mom, it was a big no-no. She would constantly be telling me to sit, stand, eat, and even breathe like a proper lady. One time, when I was about 12, we had a party at our place, and Mom made me wear the most uncomfortable dress ever. It was so tight that it just made me wonder how women could breathe in it. As everyone danced and enjoyed themselves, I just wanted to get some fresh air. So I went to the garden, and it was then that I saw it. A nest on a tree. It was about to fall. I quickly got into action and climbed the tree. Thank God Mom wasn't there. But then, out of nowhere, I heard her yell. Dear God, Ada, what in the world? You are wearing such an expensive dress. Ugh, it's ruined now. I held this party to introduce you to Augustus, the best math teacher in all of Britain, and this is how you behave?
But Mom, the little birdie's nest was about to fall. I had to fix it.
This nest was more important than this stupid dress or anyone else.
You see, my lady, why I was refusing to tutor your daughter. Math, science, these are not the fields women should worry about. I suggest you teach her how to cook, clean, and yes, some manners too.
Saying that, the man left, and Mom, wow, she literally went berserk, and I got the lecture of a lifetime, and it was then that it happened. I felt a shooting pain in my head, and then everything turned dark. When I woke up, I was in my bed, and it turned out I had a headache called a migraine. I was put on bed rest for not just 1 or 2 days, but for a whole year. Just in the first week, I felt like I was gonna go crazy from boredom. I had solved tons and tons of puzzles, played all the board games in the house with the servants, read so many books, and I was still bored. But then one day I saw something amazing. The nest that I had saved had chicks. I was so happy. Over the coming weeks, I saw each chick one by one leaving the nest, and it was because of them that I fell in love with flying. I poured my heart into researching how to fly and called the subject flyology. I gathered supplies and even built wings. I so wanted to try them on and see if I could fly. But Mom, she thought it was a waste of time thinking about a machine that could never be made. In reality, if Mom could only see the world now. When I turned 14, Mom introduced me to my new teacher, Mary. She was a mathematics genius, and it was because of her that my love for the field of mathematics just grew. One time when Mary was done with her class, she forgot her advanced math book at my place. Since back in the day we didn't have TV or smartphones, I was just bored, so I started solving the equations. And the next week when Mary visited, she was stunned.
Who helped you? There is no way you did it yourself. This is practically the hardest math question.
Hardest? It was easy peasy. Hearing my answer, Mary went deep into thought, and when she visited me the next week, she had a gentleman with her who looked familiar. It was Augustus, the man who thought women couldn't do math, and now he wanted to be my teacher? But I didn't. I was about to tell him to leave, but couldn't because Mom was going all gaga over him. She really wanted him to be my tutor. So in the end, I agreed, but I made sure to push his buttons every now and then. So, I have a question. It's a math question, very hard.
You asked one silly question just 5 minutes ago. Fine, ask away.
Why can't a nose be 12 inches long?
What kind of question is this?
Because then it would be a foot.
But it was funny.
I guess I needed to cut some Augustus some slack. He was a nice guy and taught me everything I needed to know about math. I know I was his favorite student. He never said it himself, but I did find his letters in Mom's drawer one time in which he told Mom that I had the potential to be one of the greatest mathematician minds in the world. One time when I was 17, Mom and I were invited to Mary's house for a ball. She was getting engaged, and to be honest, the party was boring. Like, there was no one I could talk to. All the girls my age wanted to talk about were boys, babies, and baking.
Oh my. Look at your 9 o'clock. No, 3 o'clock. That guy is totally checking you out.
Wave your fan. Say hi to him with your fan.
Ah, sweet lady. You look so pretty tonight. My thoughts about you keep multiplying by 10. I hear you love numbers. So, how about we dance?
Cringe. I need something to eat. I feel like I'll faint if I don't eat something fast. Saying that, I hurried to the food table, and just as I grabbed the last donut, someone else took it. And when I saw who it was, I felt like a deer in the headlights. It was Charles Babbage, a science genius who had been building a giant calculating engine, or as you call it today, a computer. Oh my God, a big fan of your work. I was wondering if you could
dance? No, thank you.
What? No, not dance. I wanted to see your machine. I've heard so much about it. I want to work with you.
Work? With me? That's cute. Please excuse me.
What, huh? Well, I was determined to see his invention, and when I told Mom, she pulled some strings, and Charles had to finally invite me to a showing of his machine, which was still not complete. The moment I laid my eyes on it, I was in absolute awe. The man was a genius. His machines had like 25,000 parts, and once complete, could perform all types of complex calculations.
The man was working on the very first computer, and I wanted to learn from him. It's marvelous. I have never seen anything like this in my whole life. How about you teach me about this marvelous machine, and I can help you make it better?
Oh, wow. You think you can just make it, better? I have spent years and years working on this, and you think you can make it better? No way.
Are you always such a jerk, or do you just show off when I'm around? Ugh. And by the way, why do you have to repeat the same steps over and over again for a simple addition? Saying that, I turned to leave, but I guess what I said made perfect sense to him, and he stopped me in my tracks.
The repeating steps again and again. It was on my mind, but no one, not even the best scientists, could understand that part. But you did. You really want to learn from me. Help me make this machine better? Fine. I'll have you as an apprentice. But only if you first translate the manual book for the machine from French to English.
OMG, was this really happening? Oh, yes, it was. I was pretty glad Mom had me take French classes when I was a kid. It took me 9 months to translate the piles and piles of notes. As I understood his designs more and more, I added my own notes on how to make things better. By the time I was done translating, I had over 30 notebooks. But it was all worth it, because I realized Charles's machine, when finished, could even print, create graphics, play music, all along doing complex calculations. The man had hit the jackpot. But when Charles saw my notes, he looked confused. I was so sure I did everything right. Did he find some mistake? Were my calculations wrong? Did I blow my chances of working with the Charles Babbage? Look, I can do it again.
Do it again? Nonsense. Ada, this is extraordinary. Everything you've written makes so much sense. With you by my side, I am so sure this machine will be a success and even better.
Charles was so happy with my work that he started calling me the magician of numbers. He even got my notes printed and distributed to all the mathematicians and scientists in England. It was incredible. Just like Charles, I didn't go to school, college, or university, and here I was, standing shoulder to shoulder with the greatest minds of all time. After that, there was no stopping me. I officially started working with Charles, and he not only became my mentor, but also my best friend. Soon, we decided to make a new machine called the Analytical Engine. While working with Charles, I developed the first algorithm ever. It could calculate advanced algebra equations. Together with my algorithm and Charles's machine, we were creating the world's first mechanical computer. A few years later, I got married and had 3 children, but I still worked with Charles, even from home. Every day I'd write letters to him since he lived nearby. We were exchanging letters like 6 times a day. It was totally like texting. One day I was home with my kids when I got the worst news ever. Mom was sick, so I visited her. I stayed with Mom for a week, and it was during those days that I told her about what I'd been working on. I wasn't expecting it, but Mom, she looked so happy, and then she said the most amazing thing ever, something I never thought I'd hear her say.
You make me feel so proud every day with your courage, kindness, and hard work. Ada dear, I am sorry for being tough on you when you were a kid. I came from a family where women weren't allowed to study, and I wanted you to have every opportunity to be educated. Ever since you were a kid, I knew you could do far better than your dad or me, and I am so happy I was right.
Mom, everything I am today, it's because of you. I love you. Once I returned from Mom's place, I got back to work, but then our big project came to a stop when Charles was out of money to build. He asked me to visit Queen Victoria and ask her to fund our project, but how could I? The woman basically hated me. Yeah, I had beef with the Queen after I stepped on her gown at a party and didn't recognize her. Oh God, this was gonna be so hard, but I had to do it. For Charles. I went to see the Queen and explained everything to her. I wasn't expecting it, but she agreed to help me. I was ecstatic, and when I broke the news to Charles, he was thrilled.
Oh my God. Thank you so much, Ada. How can I ever repay the favor?
How about you make me the CEO of Babbage's machine?
CEO? You can be chairman, president, anything you want, because it's a fact, Ada. With your code, this machine will reach new heights.
I was coding computer programs before there were even computers and before it was cool. 100 years later, the work I did with Charles was finally recognized and became the basis for the invention of the first modern computer and the basis for the machine you are watching me on right now. In the late 1970s, the United States Army created a programming language called Ada to honor my work in the programming field. I was born to famous parents. Mom was an actress and Dad was a film director. Since they both were mostly busy, I grew up with nannies, and boy was I wild. Like one time, the nanny left me alone for a few minutes and I spray painted all of Mom's designer dresses. And another time, I put on a huge coat and hid in the refrigerator, thinking I'd outsmarted everybody. But the nanny found me in 5 minutes. Aw man, how'd you find me? Maybe because of all this food on the floor? Even in school, I found it extremely difficult to sit still in class. One time in 5th grade, the teacher asked everyone about their role model. I love Superman. He can fly, and I love his costume. Superman can't be your role model. He's fictional. Real people can't fly. Even I can fly. Watch me. I jumped and crashed right into the meanest girl in class, Jessica. Her mom was a famous actress too, and Mom always said she got lucky without any talent. I just thought she was ugly. Anyway, Jessica broke her arm, and after that day, we became sworn enemies, always trying to one-up each other with pranks. She would stick glue to my chair, and I would fill her lockers with slime. But the worst was when she spread mean rumors about Mom. I've heard that Nora's mom wears a wig and never leaves the house without makeup because she's ugly. At least in her case, makeup helps. Your mama looks like a potato no matter how much makeup she uses. Don't talk like that about my mom, and you shut your filthy mouth about mine, you little snake. Jessica pounced on me and pulled my hair. I punched her nose, and we both fell on the ground fighting, and we both landed in detention. Growing up, my parents tried everything from therapy to music to calm me down, but what finally worked was dancing. It felt great to finally have an outlet for all my energy and to find something I was good at. But then a week before my 17th birthday, Dad came home looking really upset. Apparently, this was his 5th movie in a row that had flopped, and no one wanted to work with him anymore. He was home all the time and constantly whined. Meanwhile, Mom continued getting more famous and traveling the world. I missed having her around, but kept myself distracted with dancing. Then one day during lunch, I was learning a new dance routine when someone tapped on my shoulder. You're doing that wrong. Excuse me? The girl showed me a much cooler step, and I was blown. That was amazing. Can you teach me that? I'm Nora. I know. I actually love your mom. I'm such a big fan. And oh my god, I'm rambling, right? It's just that no one talks to me because I'm not rich. Well, I don't see how that's a problem with us being friends. Let's grab some ice cream. Carly and I spent the day together, and we instantly bonded over dance and music. Soon we were hanging out every day, and the best part was that she hated Jessica as much as I did. She's such a bully and made me feel like a loser because my clothes aren't branded. She hates me, mostly because our moms are competing with each other for movies. Also because I broke her arm one time. Carly even taught me more dance routines she'd seen on YouTube Shorts and suggested I start my own channel. Dad gave me weird looks as I filmed the videos, but I didn't give a fig. All he did was watch TV all day long. Then one time, he was casually scrolling through channels when I pointed out a commercial featuring someone I followed on YouTube. Oh, I know her. She does the coolest dance routines ever.
You mean people get famous for making those silly videos?
Excuse me, it takes a lot to make these videos. You need to know the right camera angles and lighting and even makeup, and yeah, this does make you famous. Dad looked at me thoughtfully, and to my surprise, he was up really early the next morning, waiting for me with a new ring light, camera, makeup, and clothes. What's all this?
I thought about what you said, and I think, together, we can make you famous. I can make the videos while you focus on dancing.
I thought the videos were silly.
Silly Billy Nilly, what does it matter? Let's get to work.
He even cleaned out a whole room to set up all the equipment. I danced a lot that week, and together we made enough videos for the month. Even Carly joined in sometimes, and slowly my channel grew to be huge. I got invited to all the latest events, celebrity meetups and talk shows, and I was living the life, but I had no time for school. So when I sat for my 11th grade finals, I had no idea what to write. Carly, shh, look here. Oh my god, are you cheating? Shut up, you witch. But obviously, Jessica created a huge scene and I was sent to the principal's office. Mom was called in, but since she was one of the school trustees, I only got suspended for a week and was allowed to retake the exam after. She didn't say a word the whole ride, but as soon as we got home, she went ballistic on me.
This was so embarrassing for me, Nora. I don't like this whole YouTube dancing thing at all. Someone your age should be focused on school and friends, not behaving the way you are.
Really? And how should a mother behave? Leave her kid and choose her career over her family?
How dare you? I did what I had to do to support my family. family. Your dad, on the other hand, can you please stop blaming Dad for everything? He's been here for me, and you haven't, and he's happy for my success. Please spare the lecture, Mom, and go back to making movies. I appreciate what you've done, but I'll take it from here. I hated being rude to Mom, but she was being annoying. Soon she left the country for yet another project. Carly helped me study, and somehow I managed to clear my exams. A week later, I got an email from none other than Gucci. It was a big campaign, and they wanted both me and Carly to feature in their video. We spent hours selecting our looks for the video, but on the day of the shoot, Dad took me to the location 3 hours earlier, saying the producers gave a new schedule. Does Carly know? Oh, I forgot to tell you earlier. Gucci called me to say they only wanted to work with one girl, and obviously that's you.
What? I didn't get any such email.
I told you, they called me. You were busy with some shoot.
You should have told me, and I should have talked to Carly about this. She's helped me so much with the channel.
Yeah, okay, but would you give up such an important campaign to her? Since there's only one spot, it is your channel.
I still wanted to call Carly, but I had to get my hair and makeup done, and then there was no time. I felt mad at Dad for signing the deal without consulting me, but this was a great opportunity, and I couldn't let it slip. But the next day when I saw her, she looked completely heartbroken. I'm so sorry. I wanted to tell you, but it was such a sudden change of plans, and it's okay. It's your channel anyway. So you're not angry then? No, but I do have class, so I'll see you around. Carly smiled, but I knew she was hurt. So the next week, I surprised her with tickets to her favorite concert, and thankfully, things went back to normal. My video with Gucci blew up, and suddenly, every big brand wanted to collaborate with me. Not only was I super popular, but these deals were making me rich, and even the kids at school were less annoying now, including Jessica. One time during lunch, Jessica pulled up a chair next to me and Carly. Hey Nora, how are you? It's been so long since we had a little chat. Not long enough. Let's talk in another 10 years, or maybe never. You're so funny. Anyway, you know how my mom has this makeup brand, right? And she wants you to be the face of the label. Isn't that amazing? Oh wow, lucky me. And I'd rather eat bugs than help you or your mom. She's ready to pay you a lot. Think about it. Aw, desperate much? You know what? Since I have such a big heart, I'll help you. Climb on the table, say this, and I'll seal the deal. What? No way, I'm not saying this. Look, who are you kidding? I know your mom's brand is struggling, and I could really push the sales. Don't you want that? You want this favor? You gotta do what I say. Fine. Hey everyone, I have to confess something. I have an unhealthy obsession with eating my own boogers, and Nora's amazing because she's helping me get over it, but sometimes I still can't help it. Go on. With that, Jessica dug into her nose and licked her fingers. I could see everyone making disgusted faces as she turned bright red and she ran off. I couldn't stop laughing. Now that was fun, right? No, you didn't need to humiliate her like that. What do you care? You hate Jessica just as much as I do. I do, because she was a bully. And right now, you are one too. I only gave her a taste of her own medicine, and I'm not sorry about it. Well, you should be. With that, Carly turned around and left. I wanted to stop her and explain myself, but then why should I? Jessica has always been horrible to me. I didn't need to feel bad. After that day, Carly started avoiding me. I tried to talk to her a few times, but then I got busy with shoots and there was never a good time. Finally, it was time to shoot for Jessica's mom, but as I was getting my makeup done, I saw an article about how her products used substandard ingredients, even some that were banned. Dad, will you look at this? It looks like these makeup products are full of toxins. I can't tell my followers to use these.
Yes you can. Who cares if these products are harmful? All you need to do is go up there, smile, and say it's the best makeup you've ever used.
But that's lying.
Listen, Nora, we've signed the contract and got a lot of money for this, so we can't back out now. If we do, they'll sue me because I'm your legal representative.
I knew endorsing these products was wrong, but if I walked out at the last moment, Dad would get sued. So I decided to shoot the video and get it over with. But I couldn't stop thinking about how I'd lied for a few bucks. It kept nagging at me all night. And the next day, I told Dad I wanted to take a break.
No way. We've taken an advance on all your sponsorships.
I don't care, Dad. I started this channel to dance and have fun, and now I'm lying to make money. I don't want to do this anymore. Just give all the money back.
You don't understand, Nora. I can't give the money back because
you lost it? I turned around to see Mom walk in.
Go on. Tell her about how you lost all the money in some shady internet scam and how you need more money to do this all over again.
What? Dad, is that true? You
stole my money? No, I never meant to steal it. I just borrowed it to invest so I could use the profit to fund a movie project I've been working on. But I swear, I intended to return every single penny. I had no idea the investment scheme was a complete scam. I'm so sorry. I don't even know what to say. How could you? I'm sorry for not being there before, Nora, but I'm here now, and I won't let you stay with this man for another second. You can't just leave. Watch me. Mom took me to her holiday home that evening. She even promised to pay back all the money to Jessica's mom and get my name out of the deal before they released the video about her makeup brand. But the next morning, I woke up to people screaming my name outside. I wanted to see what all the ruckus was about, but Mom stopped me. Don't go out there. Why? Who are all these people? A video of my conversation with Dad before the makeup shoot had gone viral, where I was protesting against doing the shoot, and he asked me to lie. I was losing followers, and sponsors were canceling contracts by the second. But it was worse for Dad. People were calling him a liar, a fraud, and much worse. I didn't go to school that day, but when I told Mom to drop me off the next day, she was hesitant. I don't think that's a good idea. Let things cool down. I'm not gonna sit at home like a scaredy cat, Mom. Despite Mom's protests, I left for school, but just as I entered, Jessica jumped on me from nowhere.
You witch! How dare you insult our brand after we paid you the money and did everything you said!
Get off me, you dinosaur! I said those things because that's the truth.
And drop the act. It was you who uploaded the video with Dad to ruin my name, so we're even. Are you dumb? Why would I upload something that says bad things about my mom's brand? We're undergoing an investigation now.
That did make sense, but if this wasn't her, then who? I was wondering who it could be later that day when Carly walked up to me. Okay, don't kill me, but I did something horrible. I was at your set that day, and it was me who posted the video.
You?
What? Why? Because I didn't know how else to make you stop working with your dad. He's so manipulative that you just weren't seeing that. He makes you do things you don't even want to do. But you're not a bad person, Nora, and I couldn't stand you turning into one. So I did this, and now you can hate me forever.
Oh my God, just shut up and listen to me.
I already told my dad that I wanted to take a break, and I'm done working with him. I can't lie to people. I'm even kind of relieved that my sponsors have backed out. You did? So that means you're not mad at me? Of course I'm mad at you for not talking to me before posting the video, but I understand why you did it. So do you think we could be friends again?
Maybe.
Probably.
I was born in a small town to a single mom who always celebrated my interests and made sure I felt valued. Since I was a little girl, I've always loved singing and performing, and Mom always supported me. When I was 8, I participated in my school's talent show with a singing act. I was so excited, but when I got on stage, the nerves hit me and I started shaking like a tree in the wind. And when I looked out into the audience and saw my mom smiling up at me, I knew I could face my fears and give a great performance.
Don't worry, honey. You've got this.
Phew. Okay. La 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 la. Yeah, I used to get some stage fright when I was younger. I loved singing more than anything in the world, but sometimes my nerves got the best of me. All of that went away after my friends told me how good I was.
You're like so talented.
Really?
Totally. I wish I could sing like you.
With my mom and friends supporting me, I felt unstoppable. So when all that was taken away, it was, well, difficult. When I was 13, I got the opportunity to audition for a prestigious performing arts high school called Cole House. I came in prepared with my very favorite song, La 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 La.
Incredible! Superbly performed!
It had been my dream ever since I was 8 to attend, so I was thrilled when they offered me a spot the following fall semester. Cole House was all the way in New York City. I'd only ever been there once to see the Phantom of the Opera on Broadway, so the idea of going there to live was intimidating. It was a boarding school, so I would be away from home for the first time in my life. My home friends wouldn't be joining me. They were all staying back to start regular high school in our hometown, but they were so excited for me.
Go get him, Greta. We can't wait for you to take NYC by storm.
It would also be the first time my mom and I lived apart. Though I hated the idea of being away from her, I knew I needed to follow my dreams. And of course, my mom was super supportive. I'm so proud of you, honey. She dropped me off at the train station and waved goodbye. See you in a few months, my Broadway star. As soon as I stepped foot in Manhattan, all sorts of doubts started creeping in. What if I don't make any friends? I'm not a good enough singer for performing arts high school. Maybe I should just go back home. My fears just got bigger and louder when I stepped foot in my new school. It was gorgeous.
with high vaulted ceilings and brightly painted classrooms. Just as I was looking up at the beautiful stained glass windows, I was suddenly shoved to the ground by a pretty girl. Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. How rude. Could she tell I was out of place here? I didn't have too much time to think about it because my first class started in 2 minutes. I ran down the hallway just in time for the bell to ring and sat down in the last open chair right across from the girl who shoved me. Just my luck.
I see you've met Lena. She's a pill.
A boy sitting right next to me with curly hair and a cute smile put out his hand.
Hi, I'm Daryl.
I'm Greta. Nice to meet you.
You must be new here.
Was it so obvious? It was like I had a sign on my forehead screaming, "New girl." Daryl must have noticed my concern.
I just haven't seen you around here. I would have noticed a pretty girl like you.
I hoped he couldn't tell I was blushing. Yeah, I just moved here from Scaniatalis.
Never heard of it.
It's a tiny town. I really love it there, but I couldn't miss the opportunity to go to school here.
Cole House is pretty incredible. And this is my favorite class. Mrs. Larimer is the bomb.
Just then, a tall woman with a long braid and huge green glasses entered the room.
Hello, class. I see some familiar faces. I see some shiny new faces. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mrs. Larimer, and this is Singing for the Stage.
I looked around the classroom and saw a lot of smiling, eager faces. It seemed like a lot of people really liked Mrs. Larimer.
I hear we have a new student in school this year. Class, let's give a big Cole House welcome to Greta. Hi, Greta.
Nice to meet you. Just then, Lena chimed in.
Can't wait to hear you sing.
I felt like she was taunting me, like she felt she was better than me. What was this girl's problem? Before I could think about it too much, Mrs. Larimer was addressing the class.
Who's ready to present their audition cut?
All of a sudden, every student reached into their backpack and pulled out binders full of sheet music. I looked down into my backpack. There was nothing but a pencil box, a notebook, and a bagged lunch in there.
Did you not bring your music book?
I couldn't believe Lena was calling me out in front of all these people. I just wanted to blend into the brightly colored wallpaper.
Don't worry, it's your first day. No one expects you to be ready to perform.
Greta, it's your first day, so we'll give you some time to settle and you can perform for us next week. Thanks, Mrs. Larimer. I shot a look at Lena so she would get the picture to just leave me alone. She caught my eye and smiled. What? Why would she tease me and then smile? What kind of mind games was she playing? Still holding my gaze, Lena's hand shot up in the air. I'm ready, Mrs. Larimer.
Great. Lena, you have the floor.
Lena gave the pianist her sheet music and started singing. I wanted to hate it, but she had an unmistakably gorgeous voice. When she finished singing, the class applauded.
Great job, Lena. I can tell you've been keeping up with your vocal exercises this summer.
Mrs. Larimer gave Lena some constructive criticism, but I was distracted. I felt like screaming, yeah, she has a beautiful voice, but that doesn't give her an excuse to be rude. But I just kept it bottled up inside, sitting politely.
Who would like to go next?
I wondered how anyone could feel confident following such a great performance. I would certainly be intimidated singing after Lena. I was wary of her, but there was no denying that she was a beautiful singer. Before I had too long to think about it, Daryl was standing up from his chair.
I'll go, Mrs. Larimer.
Daryl handed his sheet music to the pianist and sang a little bit to relay the tempo of his song. Even just hearing that much, I could tell Daryl was good. Really good. The pianist nodded and Daryl took his place in the center of the classroom. He looked at me and winked. I swear I turned bright red. Did everyone see that? Lena looked back at me scowling. Daryl began his song. It was incredible. He sang with such confidence. The vibrations of his voice pulsated, making it feel like the room itself was breathing. I looked around and I could tell everyone else was enjoying themselves as well. Everyone, that is, except Lena.
Well done, Daryl. That song really suits you. Thanks, Mrs. Larimer.
Mrs. Larimer gave Daryl some adjustments and had him sing parts of the song over again. If this is what my new school was going to be like, just listening to cute boys sing, I had nothing to be worried about. I was starting to like it here. That evening, I was settling into my new bedroom in the dorms. As I was rounding the corner with some of my favorite snacks from the corner store, I heard a familiar voice.
Hi, Greta.
I couldn't believe it. Lena was my next-door neighbor. I was going to have to share a wall with her for the entire school year. I could feel my blood boiling under my skin. Hi, Lena. Is this your first time in NYC? She was smirking. What, did she think she was better than me just because she lived here longer than I did? I had to take a deep breath to control myself. No, actually, I came here to see Phantom of the Opera years ago. Oh, I love Phantom. I've seen it like 7 times. Okay, now she was bragging. Whatever, there was no reason to get worked up. I was just gonna remove myself from the situation. That's really cool for you, Lena. And then I shut my bedroom door and ate a whole bag of my favorite snack, Crispy Crisps. The following week, when I got into the singing for the stage class, I made sure to bring my very own music book with me. I was ready to finally perform for my new classmates.
Greta, over here.
I looked over to see Daryl beckoning me towards him. He had saved the seat next to him with his backpack. Wow, cute, talented, and thoughtful. This guy seemed too good to be true. Lena looked at Daryl from across the room and rolled her eyes. I plopped down in the seat Daryl saved for me and looked back at Lena. What was her problem with me?
Don't let Lena give you a hard time. This is kinda awkward, but she and I actually used to date.
I was shocked, but I tried not to let Daryl notice. How could such a lovely guy date such a cruel girl? As if he could read my mind, Daryl responded,
Yeah, I know. She was actually really nice when we started dating. And she has such a gorgeous voice. We loved singing duets together, but things didn't work out, and now it seems like she's taking it out on you. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. I appreciate you telling me. I had so many more questions for Daryl, but before I got a chance to ask any of them, Mrs. Larimer came into the room.
Okay, class, let's get ready to sing. Greta, have you had time to prepare your audition cut?
I was ready. I had been practicing all weekend. But now, I felt so nervous. I clutched my music binder to my chest, willing myself to disappear behind it. Break a leg, Greta. My vision blurred until all I could see was Lena's stupid, smug face smirking up at me. All of a sudden, I felt like I was 8 years old again. My voice caught in my throat, and I couldn't stop my hands from shaking. I wished my mom was here to give me a reassuring smile. I longed for words of support from my home friends. I searched for Daryl among the sea of unfamiliar classmates, hoping he would provide me with some fortitude. He had been so sweet to me this past week. He was the only person who seemed interested in being my friend. But when I scanned the room, I was shocked to see Daryl whispering into another girl's ear. Oh, Daryl, you're so funny. She was giggling and looking up at me. Was I being paranoid, or were they making fun of me? Tears started building a fortress in my eyes, and my throat clamped down in a desperate attempt to keep them from tumbling down my cheeks. With all the straining to keep myself from crying, there was no way I would be able to sing a single note. I ran out of the classroom before my body betrayed me and I let anyone see me cry. I ran down the hallway and slipped into the bathroom stall. I was finally alone. Leaning against the cool door, I let the sobs escape. Greta, is that you? Lena's unmistakable lilt seeped under the stall door. What the heck was she doing here? Did she just want to rub it in? How I came all the way to NYC and couldn't even sing in a singing class? I felt like my brain was a volcano and lava was about to seep out of my ears. Lena, leave me alone. Haven't you already done enough? What are you talking about? I know, I'm a failure. You don't need to tell me. You're not a failure. You know, my first time in singing for the stage, I got so nervous, I sang my whole song off-key. What? Was Lena trying to console me? Why are you telling me this? Because I like you, and I don't want you to feel embarrassed. You like me? Then why have you been tormenting me all week? Tormenting you? What are you talking about? You tripped me on my first day. I didn't mean to trip you. I'm nearsighted, and my glasses haven't come in yet. I didn't see you until I ran into you. I'm so embarrassed. Oh, well, what about when you talked down to me in the dorms? I just wanted to get to know you. You seemed so cool, and I was new last semester, so I know how scary it can be to make new friends. I didn't mean to make you feel belittled. I'm sorry. But Daryl said you didn't like me because you and him used to date. Oh, that's so like Daryl. He pursued me last semester when I was the new student. I was so excited to make a new friend, and then it got romantic. But as soon as another new girl started here, he broke up with me. It's like he only has eyes for new girls. I just try to ignore him, but it's difficult because he has so many friends. And I just know he's telling them his own story about why we broke up. I was remembering my first week with a whole new perspective. Suddenly, every mean thing Lena did to me was a misunderstanding or a kind gesture. I felt so foolish to have believed Daryl. I emerged from behind the bathroom stall and looked at Lena with new eyes. She looked so apologetic. I embraced her in a big hug, and before I knew it, we were both laughing at how silly the past week had been. Do you think you're ready to get back to class? Yeah, actually. When we got back to Mrs. Larimer's classroom, I could tell Daryl had been talking about me. Suddenly, his smile wasn't sweet, but a cruel smirk.
Hi, Greta. I'm glad to see you back in class. Are you ready for your song?
Seeing Daryl, I felt that familiar feeling of dread wash over me, but I looked over at Lena and she gave me a reassuring nod and a warm smile. Having her on my side, I felt supported. I'm ready. I closed my eyes and started to sing. I felt a quiver in my voice at first, but then it got stronger and stronger, and soon I was just lost in the lyrics and the music. When the last note ended and I opened my eyes, everyone erupted in applause. Some people stood up while cheering and clapping, and some people were crying, including our teacher. Even Daryl looked stunned.
Greta, your voice is so pure and beautiful. I think I can say for everyone that you've really moved us, and we're honored to have you here.
Lena leapt forward and gave me a bear hug, and finally, I felt at home at my new school. My dad was the most special person in my life. He made me homemade milkshakes and taught me how to throw a kick and a punch when I was only 6 years old. He always said that I should know how to take care of myself, and I thought he could do no wrong. Except a day after my 11th birthday, I woke up to Mom crying. What's wrong?
Your dad left.
Like, left to get some milk?
No, he left us, Mare. Look at this note. He'd been stressed for weeks at his job, and I thought he'd be okay, but I guess he wasn't. I tried calling him too, but he left his cell phone at home.
What? Dad can't leave me just like that. He tells me everything. I'm sure there's some mistake. He must be around the corner. And I darted outside the house and started running around the neighborhood, screaming for Dad, but he really wasn't around. Finally, Mom caught up to me and took me home, and I was a crying mess for days. We tried looking for Dad for weeks, but it was like he'd vanished into thin air. I was heartbroken, and since then, I just couldn't trust anyone around me. What made it worse was that Mom started dating soon after, and she had the worst taste in men. This one time, Mom invited her boyfriend over, and he ended up stealing all her jewelry. And another time, she introduced me to this guy who was arrested a week later for robbing a bank. So, yeah, my home life was a mess, but at least I had school. I was a good student who loved writing poetry, and by the time I was 16, I was writing poems for a small publication and also leading the school newspaper. Life was good until this new guy Xander joined my class. At first, he didn't bother me at all and always had this permanent frown plastered on his face. He hardly spoke to anyone in class, and a few times he was rude to the teacher and got sent to detention. Then one day in the gym, I was sitting on the bleachers when this ball came flying out of nowhere and hit me in the head. Ow! Watch it, morons! I could have died!
But you didn't. And you're in a gym class. We're supposed to play here, not sit in a corner and sulk over a notebook. Now give me that ball.
Apologize first.
Bite me.
With that, Xander snatched the ball from my hand and left. I was so mad I charged after him to give him a piece of my mind, but instead, I tripped and fell right into Rod's arms. He was my senior and the captain of the football team. Girls tripped over each other to get a glimpse of Rod's handsome face and athletic body, and looking into his green eyes, I could see why. I'm sorry, I just lost my balance.
And I think I lost my heart. Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Sure about that? You could have a concussion. You know, we've never had a chance to talk, but I think we'll have a pretty good conversation. How about we find that out over dinner?
I don't eat dinner.
Coffee?
Nope.
Water, then?
I'm late for class, but thanks for the help. And I just quickly left before Rod saw my knees shaking. I knew most girls would kill for a date with him, but all men were jerks, so I decided to ignore Rod. But boy, Rod was persistent. He would send me flowers in class, leave chocolates and notes in my locker, and one time, he even showed up at my home in a limousine. I was just trying to figure out how to get rid of him when Mom walked into my room.
That boy looks fancy.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not interested. He will break my heart like Dad broke yours, and
you don't know that. Not all men are the same. Now get dressed and go.
I reluctantly agreed to go out with Rod, and it wasn't so bad. He was cute and fun, and he took me to this cool pizza place. So I was wondering, you could date anyone. Why me?
'Cause you're smart. I've never dated smart girls before.
Did you just call me a nerd?
No, I called you a pretty nerd.
You're sweet, unlike that rude Xander. He's such a brat. You'd know him, actually. He's on the football team.
Xander has always had temper issues. If I were you, I'd stay away from him. Anyway, let's not spoil our date by talking about him and concentrate on more important things, like me.
Rod reached for my hand, and my stomach felt like it was in knots. We ended up talking some more before Rod dropped me home, and soon after, we started dating. School was twice as fun with Rod around. We'd have lunch together, and Rod would take me to these amazing parties, and things were going well. But then one day, I walked into my class and saw Xander bullying a student. I barged in and pushed Xander off.
What's your problem, weirdo? Just mind your own business.
I will when you stop treating people like trash.
I was just asking some questions about chemistry.
I'm not blind or stupid. Just get away from this poor guy or
what? You'll hit me, princess?
Xander inched closer, and I could feel his breath on my face. I wanted to move, but I just felt numb. And seconds later, the teacher walked in, and we all went back to our seats. I tried to ignore Xander after that, but I guess luck wasn't on my side, because a week later, I was picking up a cake for Mom's birthday at the local cafe when someone tapped on my shoulder.
May I take your order, You! I don't remember the last time I turned around and didn't see your face.
I don't like looking at your face either.
It doesn't look like that. In fact, it looks like you're stalking me.
Excuse me, but before I could get another word out, my stomach made a loud rumbling noise. Xander's face softened and he smiled.
Looks like someone's starving.
I'm fine.
Just come with me. You can be angry while you eat.
I wanted to say no, but my stomach made another really loud sound. Xander took me to the back kitchen and quickly fixed me a sandwich. As I gulped it down, a cat crawled in and Xander filled a bowl of milk for it. I watched him play with the cat and he looked so calm and peaceful and really cute.
If you keep staring like that, I'll get uncomfortable.
Thank you. You're good. I mean, the sandwich is good.
It's my specialty. My mom taught me. And you're staring again.
Sorry, I was just wondering. You're rude to teachers. You barely have friends and you pretend like you're mean, but you're actually soft. You're nothing like I imagined.
You're nothing like I imagined either. Meredith, why are you with Rod?
What do you mean?
I mean, he's not what he looks like. I know it's not my place, but I don't think he's right for you.
You're right. It's not your place. And why should I listen to you? You're literally the biggest bully in school. Just because you fixed me a sandwich doesn't mean you get to comment on my personal life.
You're taking this the wrong way.
I guess I was taking it the wrong way. But now everything is clear. Thanks for the sandwich and bye-bye. And with that, I just picked up my cake at the counter and left. But I couldn't stop thinking about what Xander had said. What did he mean that Rod wasn't what he looked like? I wanted to talk to Rod about it the next day in school, but he was absent. I tried calling him, but his phone wasn't reachable, so I decided to go to his place. I was at the gate when suddenly I saw Rod screaming at some woman.
What do you mean you can't do the job anymore? Tell Xander that I still have the video proof, and I will send him to jail if he doesn't get me what I asked for.
But he's already done so much for you. Please, sir, we are poor and vulnerable, but you're rich and kind. Please understand.
Don't touch me, you filthy woman! And just tell your son that if he doesn't deliver the papers by tonight, I will show the video to my dad and have him arrested.
Rod pushed the poor woman away and she fell on the ground while he simply smirked and left. I rushed to help her up, but before I could ask her anything, she started wailing and ran away. What was happening? Xander's mom knew Rod, and from what I heard, Rod had some video he was using to blackmail Xander. What was this video? And what papers was Xander delivering? I wanted to get to the root of everything, so I waited all evening outside Xander's cafe where he worked and then followed him. To my surprise, he parked his bike outside Rod's house, slowly making his way to a slanted door on the ground. Xander opened the lid of the door and jumped in. I left my bike behind as I made my way to the same basement door and saw Xander throw a huge envelope on Rod's face.
These are all the exam papers you wanted. We're done. And one more thing, if you ever touch my mom again, I swear I will bury you alive.
Don't be so mad, pretty boy. Also, we're far from done. You still have to write me that essay for my college application. Make sure it's perfect, or you know what I can do, don't you?
I've already done everything I can, Rod. Just quit torturing me.
It's nothing to what you'll go through in jail. All I need to do is make one phone call and tell the police how you stole from my dad.
Rod smirked at Xander in the most evil way before moving closer and spitting in his face. Xander lost it and hit Rod, and the two of them got into a huge fight. I wanted to do something, but before I could, the basement door I was leaning on broke, and I dropped to the floor. Thankfully, it wasn't too high, or I would have ended up breaking my bones. Both Xander and Rod looked at me in shock as I got up.
Meredith! Oh my god, are you okay?
I'm fine.
Step away from her, she's my girlfriend!
What are you going to do, spit in my face again?
You bet I will.
Rod tried hitting Xander again, but this time I got in the way and pushed him away. Don't hurt him!
Why are you so worried about this worm? You like him, don't you? I dated you even though you're way beneath me. You should be thanking me, but instead you're choosing him?
I'm not choosing anyone, but I do know now that I don't want to be with a psychopath like you. Rod turned to me with crazy eyes, and I thought he was about to hit me when suddenly his dad barged in. He must have heard the noise when the door crashed.
What is this mess? Xander, what are you doing here? Dad, Xander is a thief! Remember you lost your favorite watch? It was Xander who took that. See, I have proof. Everything was caught on camera.
Rod's dad looked at Xander in shock as Rod showed him the whole video, and then Xander explained the whole story. Apparently, his mom worked with Rod's family as a housekeeper, and he and his little sister grew up with Rod's family.
Last year, my sister was diagnosed with a lung condition. We really needed a lot of money for the treatment, but Mom didn't have any. So one day, while the whole family was away, I broke in, stole one of your watches, and sold it to pay for my sister's treatment. I thought I'd somehow collect the money and replace the watch eventually, but Rod found out, and since then he's been blackmailing me to cheat on his college applications. He told me that you'd cut him off if he didn't get into a good college, sir. I didn't want to go to jail, so I did what he said. But Rod's demands never stopped. I'm so sorry.
Xander broke down in tears, and I felt so bad for him. Thankfully, Rod's dad understood and forgave Xander and said he wouldn't press charges. Rod lost his mind and started throwing things like a maniac, but his dad called in security and they dragged Rod away. Xander escorted me outside and called me a cab. We were waiting when he finally spoke.
Meredith, I've never said this before because you were with Rod, but I really like you. I always have.
You're a good guy, Xander, but I can't be with someone I can't trust. You should have just told Rod's dad the truth.
I know, I was a coward, but I felt I didn't have a choice.
You always have a choice. You had the choice of being honest.
Meredith, I
want to go. Saying that, I slid into the cab and left, leaving Xander alone. I didn't hear from Rod again, but Xander tried calling me a million times, and I ignored him. I didn't even want to go to school and felt totally lost. I guess Mom saw that because one night she walked into my room and asked me what happened, and I ended up spilling everything. I loved your father, and I know you did too. He suffered some hard knocks and didn't deal well with it, and it hurt us, but that doesn't mean everyone else will be the same. Well, Rod turned out to be crazy, and what if Xander is dishonest again? Look, he shouldn't have stolen from Rod's dad, but he did it for his family, not out of some greed, and that says something about him. Go talk to him, Meredith. I hugged Mom and rushed to the cafe Xander worked at, but he wasn't around. Luckily, the manager recognized me from before and handed me Xander's address. I went to his place and knocked, and seconds later, a cute little girl answered the door. Hey, is Xander around?
Nope, but you can wait. You're Meredith, right? How did you know? Xander told me you were the prettiest girl he'd ever seen, and you are pretty.
I didn't say that. I said she's pretty, but she's the smartest girl I know.
I turned around and saw Xander behind me. He signaled his sister to leave, and then it was just him and I.
So what brings you here? I thought you didn't want to see me.
Xander, all my life I've hated my dad for breaking my trust. It's really difficult for me to open up to people, and dating someone like Rod, who turned out to be a complete psycho, messed up my mind, and I just needed some time to figure out my feelings.
And have you figured them out?
Kind of, but I need you to promise that you won't lie about anything to me.
I promise. Now can I ask you out on a date?
Depends on how well you kiss.
Let's find out.